Hi, everybody. Welcome to Coffee Talk with Tara. It is raining outside, and I absolutely have come to love the rain. I think it makes you relax. It makes me relax, at least, listening to the rain on the windows and having it fall and thinking about all of the regeneration that comes with it and the growth that comes with it. I simply love these rainy days because it really reminds me to be present. Hearing that rain on my windowsill and come down the drain pipe and those droplets fall, it's a really awesome reminder and feeling. But that's not what I came on here to talk about. I actually came on here to talk about something that has come up that's really interesting for me. I'm in this sort of knowledge growth mode type of thing, and I've been reading all kinds of books and listening to lectures, and I can't even remember where, but one of the things that came out was that words do not teach, experiences teach. And that really struck me because recently I've been feeling really compelled to sort of go back into my childhood and into my timeline and into all of the events of my life and write them down and see, what happened. And I realized that I've been given some incredible experiences throughout my lifetime. And so here's an example, and I challenge you all to do it as well. Go back as far as you can and write down all of the memories. And you may notice, because I did, that if you're in a bit of a negative space, you're going to think of a lot of negative memories. But if you're in a positive space, you will think of positive memories. So I actually was in a bit of a negative space when I did it, and I started writing down my timeline and all of the events I could remember, and I came up with a lot of not so nice ones. And then I challenged myself to think positively because I know that I've had an awesome experience in life. And so I went back and I wrote down everything that I could remember as a bullet point in a memory. And then what I did after that is I layered in what those experiences taught me. So here's an example. In grade 4, I decided to go to French immersion. Now, when I look back at it now, I think, oh, well, yeah, I got to learn a second language. However, I was like automatically on the geek squad and pretty nerdy, and you could go to all these sort of negative things. High school was really fun but isolating in the sense that we were in French immersion, so we were a really small group and pretty cool that way, however nerdy at the same time. Oh well, it is what it is. But the experience itself, leaving a school that I could literally walk one block to take a bus and go to a new school, that experience alone taught me how to be brave, how to make new friends, how to be courageous and resilient. And so that is where, I've come to realize that I've had a lot of really rich experiences in my life. And if you actually go back and you do that as far as you can remember and think of as much as you can remember and keep going back to it and adding to it, you will actually find some characteristics that have really developed in you along the way. So, I found that I am courageous, and even when I doubt it, I can go back and I can look. For example, I went to school by myself there. Then I moved to Europe to go to university, courageous. Then I went to Costa Rica by myself, courageous. Jobs that I took, courageous. So you start to realize how those experiences built upon each other and how you have grown as an individual. And the other thing that does for you is it allows you to see where you may have opportunities for growth and further growth, or where things have sort of, maybe you develop something that you're not necessarily aligned with or you don't necessarily like. But the good news is that when you become aware, you can change it and you can make adjustments. And so it's a really awesome thing to do. It takes some time. It takes some pulling back of layers. It takes some in-depth self-awareness, but it doesn't have to be complicated and it doesn't have to be hard. And I promise you it is well worth it. So jot down everything you can remember, things from your childhood, experiences you've been on. If you want to call them adventures, obstacles, whatever you want to call them, put them all down. And, once you've got them all down, layer in, how did you feel in those moments? Here's another example for you. I worked the 2010 Olympic Games, and at the time, I didn't realize that I was totally in alignment with who I am. I was in the most joyful state I could be in. I was like so happy. I had the time of my life. I was working crazy hours and doing all kinds of fun things, but it didn't feel like that. And I realized that that is true alignment, that that's true fulfillment for me. And not only was I doing it for myself, I was bringing other people like my friends and my family into it. So it's only in going back and doing that kind of layering do you notice where you were in alignment with yourself, where you're out, and then you can go and try to, recreate that because you know what that feeling is like. So you know what you're aiming for. Anyway, it's food for thought on a Tuesday. And if you have any questions about it, just inbox me or leave me a comment, and I will gladly help you out. Take care, everybody.